Big Country.
What's good, people?
For your viewing pleasure, we got Mr. Neil.
Yo, what it do? I'm in here, man. Glad to be here.
Glad to be here.
Yeah.
Glad you
It's
glad to
always
be
good.
here.
Yeah.
And if y'all do not know, Mr. Neil is actually one of the people behind the scenes helping us out here. So this is part of the family.
Yeah, definitely. Well, y'all want to discuss what we was discussing before the camera got turned on, and y'all want to just breeze over that?
I'm gonna let him go with that because I don't know if he want to right now.
I mean, we can jump into the topics that y'all had going on, man.
Okay,
I ain't gonna deviate from the script. You know what I'm
Understood.
saying?
We can dive.
You know,
in.
y'all do y'all
Okay.
thing. You know.
Does fake it till you make it apply to relationships?
No,
No.
I don't believe you should fake it. I'm like, if it's there, it's there. If it's not there, then it's not gonna be there. Like, my thing is, I understand we have good days and bad days. There may be a day where I'm like, man, I don't want to see you all the time. Because sometimes you may get a little annoyed. Sometimes you may need your space. But I'm like, it's not faking it. It's like, I love you, so I'm going to deal with this right now.
Okay.
But other than that, no, I'm not faking nothing with you. I'm not going to fake the funk.
In my world, I don't think it's faking though. Like it's real. You put in a position to where, hey, yeah, if you're faking at work. I'll put it that way. Cause you go in there, you talking to your boss every day, and I know he just told you to do something outlandish, probably got loud with you, and you still go back in there. And, okay, I got a job to do, and you make it work, right? That person holds ground to you on a financial level, but when you talking about your partner who's also holding ground when it comes to your family life structure, so you mean to tell me you can't be like, get back, basically, let me get back to making this work?
But see, the only thing with that would be is if I let my boss do that. I'm sorry, you ain't gonna talk to me outside your mouth. I got in trouble numerous times, and I'm like, we'll take this to HR or whatever, but you ain't about to talk to me like you ain't got no sense.
Yeah.
Understood?
Like, you better check your tone.
Yeah, check your tone.
So that's why I say the same at my house. I'm like, if me and my wife ain't getting along today, or today one of them, I don't want to be around you. I love you, but I need my space and everything. I'm going to just be like, baby, I need a little time. Or I'm going to give you your time. I'll be back. I'm going to go kick it with my friends. Or if you need that time, go kick it with your friends. I don't want you to fake it being here like, oh, today's just the happiest day in the world, because I'm like, man, too many of them days going to have you like in the shower. Like when you be in the restroom a little too long. I don't know if you've done this one yet. You be in the restroom a little too long, just on your phone and stuff.
Find yourself in the parking lot. Just
yeah,
on your
you
phone.
in the parking lot like.
Pull out your phone and start surfing Instagram like.
Nah, I ain't mad
It's
at that
more
yet.
when you have kids.
Nah, I ain't mad at that yet. I ain't mad at that
Oh,
yet.
when you have kids, I got 2 of them. Love them to death. But even me and my wife will be like, man, I know she does it too. Like, she got on to me last night because she was like, oh, I heard you were in the garage for a minute. I was like, yeah, I was just listening to some music. And then I was like, okay, I'm going in.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Yeah, but still, like I said, I don't view that in any way as faking. It's like you were an individual first.
Yeah.
That's this reality. Like the real life, the real fact of the matter is, I came in here alone.
Yeah.
Though we've amassed all this together, I'm still who I am. Sometimes I need to think with me, just me. I don't need to add it. Okay, well, you can't do it because such and so gonna need you to do this and such. Right now, I want to figure out what I got to do.
Yeah.
Just me.
Now, I mean, I don't think you should fake anything, to be honest. Like, I think you should communicate that you need your space, for one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Communication
Like,
is key.
you need to communicate that. 2, if you need to do you just need to do you.
Yeah.
You don't need to be bombarded or tied down to being stuck with a person. Like, I mean, if you married, you need that time apart. If you don't want to suffocate y'all don't want to suffocate each other, because y'all ain't gonna be joined at the hip all the time.
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
like that.
but like some people, when they be talking about relationships, they act like, oh, we supposed to be around each other 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 days because we in a relationship now. But to me, I'm like,
You see how that thought process came from your media and your television. They keep telling you, they give you this false premonition of what you supposed to be like. This is the cookie cutter version of your life. If it don't look like that, you outside the bounds and you wrong.
Well, there are some situations and some relationships where people do tend to spend a lot of time together.
yeah.
Where, you know, they move from one place and they may not have friends or family members in certain places where they just tend to stick together. But then that's when it's on the person to like, hey, you need to go get back to what you were before y'all were together. Mm-hmm. That's when you got to get back into your hobbies. Mm-hmm. That's when you have to go back to who you were and find that essence of who you were before y'all got together. You know, you have to go back to, if you was a hooper, go back to going to the gym and playing basketball. If you was in the art, go back to going to art museums or going to basketball games or doing what you do. Or, you know, and that's why you were saying, like, if you need to go hang out with your girls, go hang out with your girls for a couple of hours. And if you was going with your boys to going to the bowling alley or whatever, go to the bowling alley for a little while. You need that separation. Relationships, you need time apart. Because if y'all end up spending so much time together, you gonna end up being like, I need to choke you. You know what I'm saying? You know, I got to get you. I need some time apart from you. Don't mean I don't love you no less. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I need some space from you. You know?
Like he was saying, the media, the way they have it set up is you have to be around each other day in, day out. It's only you. Yes, it's me and my wife against the world, period.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'm like, baby, you are my world, but sometimes you need to go over there. And sometimes I need to be over here.
Yeah,
right.
For sure.
Like, because, like, my wife, for example, she don't like TV. She don't watch TV barely at all.
Understood.
I like TV. I read books, but I love TV. She loves to read. And I'm like, okay. Sometimes she be like, oh, well, you come upstairs and watch TV. No, because it's going to annoy you because you're going to hear the TV and then you're going, oh, well, why are you watching that? That's not even realistic. It's not supposed to be realistic.
It's fantasy.
Yes.
That's
It's
the
the
whole
idea.
point.
The whole point.
I deal with enough reality every day. I just
Exactly.
want the fake.
My life is a reality.
Yeah.
But that's,
I just want to be in this fake world.
But that's where it gets to that point where it's like everybody needs their time, their space. I'm not going to fake the funk with you. If I don't want to be around you, I'm going to tell you I don't want to be around you.
Right.
But you should never not, I guess you would say, not want to be around your spouse, but hey, I need a little space at this point in time, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think it's, you just, like earlier you had said the term suffocate.
Yeah.
I don't want you, don't suffocate me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Fire needs oxygen. If you want me to burn my brightest, give me some space and let some of his oxygen in. Don't hold me too tight, baby.
Yeah.
Let me move. But also, at the bowling alley, we were talking about another form of faking. Acting like you wasn't looking. I just feel like I don't see the point in doing that. If you was looking, just look.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Yes.
You know who I was.
Well, you want to talk about that? Let's
We can
do
talk
it.
about, I mean,
Okay.
you know.
We're going to hit it real quick. Okay. One of the things that I will tell a lot of people, quit acting like your spouse is the only person you find attractive. That is a lie. Any man, I'm not going to speak for women because I know there's going to be a lot of people that say different stuff.
I'll speak for women.
Any man out here is going if he lies and tells you you're the only woman I ever found attractive since we've been together, he's lying through his teeth.
Yeah.
He is like, you're not going to tell me that your man don't have a flavor other than you. Now, me, I'm married. My wife is my flavor. But that don't mean I don't like no Rocky Road or no Caramel Delight or something. It's like, nah, but right now I have milk chocolate.
So
I love my milk chocolate.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's the what I decided to have eat day in, day out.
Yeah.
This milk chocolate.
Yeah.
But it don't mean that Caramel Delight over there don't look nice.
I see that over there.
Yeah, for sure. So like with me, you know, I wake up in the morning, you know, I roll over and that beautiful face, I love it. You know what I'm saying? I love to wake up next to this person every day. But you know, if we somewhere and somebody walk by and they beautiful, you know, they beautiful, and I can't deny that.
Yeah,
I cannot deny that.
Take that away.
And in most cases with my wife, she's gonna notice that somebody else is beautiful too. She'll be like, oh, she might be like, hey, you know, she cute, and I'm like, yeah, you know. And with my wife, I know she thinks that other men are attractive. You know, we have this thing that is, you know, you look but you don't touch. You know, and that's what most
Respect.
That's a respectful thing. You know, the one person I will say that, you know, if I ever see him in person, you know, no offense, Michael Ealy, but I'm gonna have to take you down, brother, because I know that's my wife's person.
That's the one.
Know, that's the one
him.
that if he
That's the one I know.
if he ever was to show up at my house or in person anywhere, that she would probably leave me if he was to ever show up. You know,
I don't think she
She ain't gonna leave, but just know somebody else been there.
You know,
just like, you know.
nah, but I'm just yeah. But you know, it's just we are human beings, you know. But there's a respectable thing in place, and I know that I didn't stop being a man just because I was married.
Facts.
You know, that's just it's not realistic for me to be like, oh no, I ain't see her. I didn't see her. She's not beautiful. She's ugly.
See,
you know,
part of that
it's not
part of that comes down to I feel like that plays a part in people having a hard time finding relationships because they feel like when I find the right person, I'm supposed to cold turkey. I don't supposed to see nobody else. I'd be like, you walked in the library, dog. You mean to tell me you found your favorite book and all the other books just burned the fuck down to Fahrenheit 41? I mean 451. Like,
Yeah.
shit don't work that way, bruh. Like, you'll have your favorite and you'll have what's yours.
I mean, it's just
But
like
that don't stop the fact that everything else still exists, and to observation and observing the world is part of why you here.
there's a bunch of books in the world, but we all know that there's the book.
There's the book.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, it's the book, and then there's the rest.
Mhm.
And it's just here's what it is.
And as long as I read the book,
As long as you find what's right
I'm
for
fine.
you,
I'm fine.
that's
I'm
my
fine.
book.
yeah.
They're like, that's the book. I bought that book off the shelf. That's my book. But all these other ones, oh, that's a nice book. I heard that was a good
I heard
book
that's
too.
a good book.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
I've never
But
read the book,
Yeah.
but I heard it
Check
was,
the
you know.
index. Oh yeah, that's like
that right there, my book.
quality chapters in there.
Yes,
All right.
you know, other people.
Might refer it, bro. I saw a book. You might
Yeah.
want to try.
Yeah.
But that don't mean I don't.
That don't mean I'm gonna go read it.
So recently, T.O., he ran into a special somebody, a young Karen out there. Young Karen, he was backstory. He's in his neighborhood, one of his multiple houses, driving down, and then the lady tells him, "Slow down. You almost hit me." She gets to yelling at him, doing what a Karen does. He's like, "I didn't almost hit you. I'm headed to the mailbox." They have their whole little to-do back and forth, right? Cop comes up. He gets on, of course, T.O. gets on his live. And then, of course, you get the standard, you know, Karen package. You get the waterworks, the victim role, and then, you know, it wasn't, it's him. And she, at one point in the video, verbally states, "You're a big black man coming to talk to a white woman." I'm like, it don't quite add up. All this whole little scenario she set up in her mind gets debunked when it was a neighbor sitting in their garage, and she basically said, "I was sitting right here in the garage. He never almost hit you. None of that almost happened." It grows really silent from that point. But I just want to. How does it feel knowing that being T.O., even if you amass the level of celebrity. Like, there's not many people in the world who don't know who Terrell Owens is. Like, you know me.
True.
Mm-hmm.
How does it feel to know that even you are not immune to as Rashad Ritchie would say, Karenicity?
Man, this whole thing with me, I think about what if he wasn't T.O. Because one of the things that I say is, if you're a football fan, you know who T.O. is. If you like football, you know who T.O. is.
And I'm certain she watched T.O. all the time.
And the thing is, on there, she talks about, his house. She's the head of the HOA and all that kind of stuff.
His house is on lien. You don't take care of your property. He like, what they got to do with this interaction we got going?
And the thing I think about is, like, would the police officer have been, because the police officer asked him for his ID. I'm like, to go in my mailbox?
No. It wasn't about you. You know for certain it wasn't about the mailbox.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm like, who carries ID on their mailbox?
No, he was asked for his ID because Karen was complaining about him. So even though you live in a neighborhood, you pay your bills and your rent just like everybody else,
and I'm
you
told
have every
to
right
calm
to
down. I'm like,
and she's over here being
you don't hear what she's saying and
right.
How she's acting. I'm like, I put this on live to make sure everybody can see what's going on. Mm-hmm. And that was my thing is, like, if he wasn't T.O., like, if he didn't start live, what could have happened? And I know somebody's going to say, well, you can't always take it to the worst thing. But look how many times the worst thing happens. I'm like, look how many bad things will happen off and on. And you worry about, oh, man, like, I had a recent incident with my apartments where I'm like, hold up. Like, this lady talking to me crazy. And I'm like, I would actually want to say something to you. But then I'm like, I don't want no issues. Because she was at a distance from me. I was like, well, that's not very customer service friendly. I live here. I don't work here. You work here. I live here. So all of a sudden, I'm trying to talk to her about it. You know, she's keeping a very far distance from me. I'm like, oh, okay. And I asked her for the corporate number. And I'm like, well, I will speak with them about this because I don't want it. When you try to shut me down before I even start, right. Like, hold up. That's not how this works here. So, like, when it comes to this incident, I think about, what if he wasn't T.O.? What if he was just the average person, the average black male? Would he be in trouble more?
Of course.
And that's
there's no question. There's no question he would be in even more trouble than because we know that in this country, being of a certain status keeps you out of a certain trouble meter.
Right.
But no matter if you're this color, the lower you are of that status, the more likely you are to get in that said trouble.
Right.
We know that. We know that as a fact.
In America, that's fact.
That's fact. That ain't no suspicion. That ain't no whim. We've seen it play out so many times to where it's not even, I don't even think we're bothered by it anymore. Like, we see it so much played out on camera within the last 3-4 years to where it's like, I think we've become numb to it.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be that way.
Because I would never want it to be numb, but it's like you see it so often. Like, you could hear on the news and, well, you remember back in the day you used to listen to the news and hear, you could hear the news and you'd be like, oh, well, that's a black person. That was a white person. Oh, I just by certain crimes and everything now. Right. Now it's like, man, black people going to get killed again today. Oh, this unarmed black person, these things happen. And then, oh, well, what happened beforehand? Oh, shoplifter, this guy, this happened. Or this person is suspected of these things. I'm like,
and we pretty much know who it is and when it happens and who. And the thing is that they never they never know who's watching.
Right.
yeah.
And for that neighbor to come out and be like, "Oh, no, that didn't happen,"
Mm-hmm.
and there's no repercussion.
Right.
Because you basically accused me of doing something that I never did.
Right.
And there's no repercussion for you whatsoever.
And said he ran a stop sign. There was no
It's a
stop sign
in the street.
I didn't do none of this, but there's no repercussion for you.
And I thought calling the police was a offense in itself. Like if you call police
falsifying
officer,
a police, a
by
complaint.
calling them without an actual reasonable cause,
Right.
you just called them because you over the HOA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she didn't call her because she was over the HOA. She called her because she was a white woman and a black person had the audacity to respond. I told you to slow down. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I have to be real slow next time I come around that corner. You ran a stop sign. I don't see that stop sign. No, sir, I don't see. But I do know that you say it's one now. At a certain point, I commend T.O. for what he did, bro.
Yeah.
One, no, I'm not finna bow down. I have every right to be here just like you. I've done crazy things. I've been places. I've seen things. Look, there's levels of life that I've lived that you as a woman in yours will probably never understand, never live, never know. I have every right. I pay my bills. I pay my rent. I don't care how you feel about me and the condition of my home. I own the home. Leave me alone. And when I'm coming to my mailbox, leave me alone. I'm coming to my mailbox. And even if you feel like you're going to get some sort of respite or some sort of safety measure, or somebody come by, instead of a red cape, they wearing a blue shirt and a gold badge to tell me that I need to sit back and be calm and calm down when you sitting over there yelling at the top of your lungs.
And that would piss me off even further.
Exactly.
Hold up. Why is this police officer telling me to calm down, but she over there screaming?
She's over there.
And then all of a sudden she starts crying. She put on the tears, the waterworks, everything.
that.
You ain't told her to calm down once.
Nothing.
You didn't ask her for her license.
No.
Yeah, because I'm not supposed to be here.
That's the mindset.
I'm not supposed to be here at this point in time, because no matter what I look like or no matter who I am, I don't fit the description of the neighborhood that I'm in.
Right.
Yeah.
So
And then at one point in time, she talked about his house.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I ain't supposed to be here.
But my house looks like everybody else's house over here.
First of all, she states in there, you're over in the low income housing. Woman, you live here. If it's low income, like
Man, if I gotta drive to my mailbox, it ain't low income.
regardless, even if it was,
You live here too.
you're over the HOA here. You're in the same place. How you gonna make a class distinction between the house next door and yours? Stop. Just be intelligent. That's all I'm saying,
Yeah.
ma'am. Look, my question really is, and I'm gonna jump off because if I keep going, the volume just gonna keep going up.
and then I'm gonna join him, and then
We
we probably
gonna- it's gonna be a
and
thing.
then we probably gonna get kicked off the air.
Yeah,
So
so
we
we
gonna
stop.
move on. So go ahead.
My one question is, at what point, if the view of me is I'm so dangerous, at what point do you avoid the danger? Do you walk into the local jungle? Ain't no local jungles, but if there was one, do you walk up in the local jungle and be like, oh my God, it's a tiger standing right here. How dare this tiger walk right in front of me? No. You don't say nothing, you be quiet, and you move on about your business. Why? Because you view that tiger and you understand what that tiger can do.
But you can do it if it's your jungle.
I guarantee the zookeeper feel that way. Oh, I'm tired of cleaning this tiger cage. Get a new job.
Yeah.
You don't like black people staying in your neighborhood, go get you a new house.
Well, I'm gonna just say my last little point on this one.
You want to keep us going?
Nah, I ain't gonna keep us going. I'm gonna just say my last little point. Like they were talking, she was talking about she viewed him as a threat. If you view someone as a threat, do you run up on someone you view a threat? Do you talk crazy to someone you view a threat?
You keep your distance.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like, you know what? Let me go.
You diffuse and you deflect.
I'm gone.
That's common sense 1-on-1. You don't, if you view anything as a threat, you diffuse and you deflect.
Yeah.
You don't
No problem.
you don't run into a burning building.
No.
Yeah.
If you not no firefighter, you don't run into a burning building. You
You
go
don't do
away
it.
from it.
Yeah. So that's why I was just saying with him, if she really viewed, because she said he parked his car, and when he parked his car, she got scared and viewed him as a threat because he was a black man, a big black man, and she was a white woman.
But you know who he is.
And you knew who
And
he
he-
was when you started talking crazy outside his window of his car. And
And you knew
she was the aggressor.
you knew who he was, and you knew why he was there.
I'm going to get my mail. I didn't know. Like I said, I don't know how I'm supposed to feel. A cop telling me pull out your ID and all that because I'm going to my mailbox. I'd be like, sir, I got something better. Let me go pull out the light bill I was finna go grab. Like, chill. I don't need to show you identification. You obviously know who I am. I am the NFL Hall of Fame, bruh. Stop
here.
playing with me.
I'm here.
I'm him. Stop. I just told you. She just verified. The conversation's over. We ain't got to. But what happens is you, as a cop, you fall back on routine. You fall back on what you typically do on it because you just fall right back into what you are. Somebody who's coming here to stop me not because I'm an actual criminal, but because the world at large or America at large views me as a criminal, and your television says so. Your department says so. Your shield says so. No disrespect to cops. I love cops. But certain ones, I love apples too. But you put a spoiled one in my apples, I'm going to be like, why is that there? You should be concerned too. Who takes relationships more serious? I would like to know. Men or women? Who takes more, like...
I'm going to let y'all go first.
I feel like relationships happen in phases. In the beginning, because a female in her mind has more to lose. Because in reality, the only thing we losing is time. Either it's worth my time or it's not worth my time. But since we, under this westernized idealization of relationships, I called you on a date, so you feel like you got more to lose because you feel like the only thing I'm here for typically is, he's here for sex. So I got to make sure that after I give him sex, he'll stay around, right? So in the beginning, because of the framework, I feel like a woman, you got more to lose because you feel like you're the only one with something to lose. Once you get into the dating phase and then hopefully, ultimately marriage, I feel like the guy has proven his investment through multiple sessions of I've taken you on dates. I met your parents by now. I know your friends right now. I am a staple character in your life. I got a lot invested, not just from a legal side, not just over there, but as far as I want you to have nice stuff. I want you to do. At this point, the way you live reflects highly on how I treat people or how I treat you. If your wife ain't got nice stuff on, people be like, "Oh, well, he really ain't. He not who he say he is, or he, It's an open reflection of you." So, after marriage, men. Before marriage, women.
What about you?
So in the beginning, I would have to agree with him. I say women off the jump take relationships more serious because they view them a little bit differently. Some of them look at that concept of time as a running, ticking clock.
Right.
They look at it as, I got to get this right, and I got to get it right at this moment.
Right.
Men kind of be like, I get that when I get there. Once we get into a committed relationship, that seriousness kicks in. We look at it as this is who we gonna be with, this is what we want, and this is when we lock in. So our intentions become more of a focus at that moment.
Right.
So the seriousness and the attention to detail turns to a hyper focus right then. And so in that dating towards marriage phase, I feel like we turn that intensity up there. And then in the marriage part, we turn it up another notch. So I feel like in the beginning, women start off with there first. We turn it up when we figure out we want to be there in that intent to marry phase.
Right.
And then once we get married, I feel like depending on, so I'm going to say this as well, depending on the character and the two parties that are in the marriage, the intensity of both parties can elevate depending on who it is in the relationship. Because if y'all are working towards a common goal, the seriousness of the marriage can be intensified by both parties.
Right.
Depending on if you both are like, hey, we're both committed to seeing each other succeed at this level, so I'm going to step it up and you going to step it up. But if one person is carrying the weight of the relationship, or say for instance, if the woman sees that she's going in a different direction and the male is just like, I'm cool with where I'm at, she may carry the load and take this life more serious. Whereas the man, or vice versa, the male might be like, okay, I see something different for our life. And he may step his game up and take the relationship more serious. And she may be just complacent. Right. So it just depends on the determining factors of the relationship.
Okay. I mean, and I definitely agree with both of your points on certain things, but on one of the things I was thinking about was jumping into a relationship. Like nowadays, men are more reluctant to actually jump into a relationship because they're trying to make sure they're jumping into the right relationship, because you have a lot to lose if you get into the wrong one. Like, and the reason I think about that is like when it comes to relationships, marriage, and things of that nature, you hear, and it's not a shot toward women, but you hear a lot of people want the ending effect. Like, I heard one dude said a lot of people want year 50, but they don't want to go to what it takes to get to year 50. Yeah. Like the work, the struggle, the push, the drive, I got to work hard to get what I need. Like, we got to make these things happen kind of stuff. So when I think about it, sometimes I'm like, as a guy, from day one, most of the time you're working hard to try to get what, if I know that woman is who I want to be with. Mm-hmm. What am I doing? I have to make sure my finances are together, the things are together to show her what I need, what I want from her, and that is not just one thing. Now, if it's just a booty call, that's a completely different story. But when it comes to a relationship, as a dude, I would think you're working much harder because you're like, okay, financially, I have to show her that I'm not just one of the other dudes out here, because I know there's a lot of dudes out here shooting at her. Yeah. Because there's no dude out here that should ever think you were only one that ever shot at your woman, your wife, your girlfriend, anything like that. But she chose you. But it was certain things about you, because you had to show her those things. You had to, and I'm not saying all relationships, but for the most part, you're showing basically everything you have. You're putting it all on the line to show things. So before you jump into the relationship, it's like, well, I'm gonna put in this work. I gotta make sure she knows what she's getting. And a lot of dudes have even said, well, after like we got into a relationship, I started figuring out certain things that I see I wasn't getting, or things that weren't there that we needed to discuss and work on, because it was more putting in a lot of work.
Yeah. So I'm going to say that the modern woman is different nowadays. Mm-hmm. So, you know, she's a little bit more focused on building that career, and focusing on getting that money on her own now.
Right.
So some of the stuff that we work for, she getting on her own.
Yeah.
So those early conversations need to be had early on when building these relationships. So a lot of those stresses that we put ourselves through can be eliminated if we just talk about them and put them on the table. If this is where we gonna be and this is who we gonna be with, she can alleviate a lot of that stress early on if we just had that conversation. But a lot of us don't want to have that conversation because we're reluctant to being either A, vulnerable, or B, feeling like we finna get played or simped or whatever word you want to use at that moment.
Insert here.
Yeah, whatever words you want to put there.
But, you know, nobody want. That's the same thing. Men and women are so much the same on those same lines. Mm-hmm. Nobody want to be played. Nobody want to be I don't get what I want, but you're getting what you want. Yeah. And that's one of the hard things trying to figure out. Because, yes,
but that's a part of being an adult, though.
Yes. And that's true, that part of being an adult. But look how many people are single now, still looking for the right person.
Yeah.
Because
and a lot of the times, and this is just my opinion, people sometimes play childish games in that search.
Yeah.
Broken people create broken people. And a lot of those single people don't heal during that time. They don't fix those broken issues that they have. And they jump from one person to the next person to the next person, creating those broken issues and taking from one person to the next person to the next person. So, yeah, you're going to get played because you're not fixing what you have from one person to the next to the next. Right. But if you come into that first part, actually coming to the table as the mature human being, setting an expectation and actually working towards a goal with that person and coming to a common ground and actually being an adult about it, you can make it work. You can set that standard and be mature about it. And if if it's not there, if it ain't on that application, like if it's not a part of that job that you're applying for, don't accept it. No. A lot of the things that we put up with, we ain't got to put up with. We allow it to happen. Yeah. And I know people will say, well, it ain't that easy. In the beginning, it is that simple. Right. You just allow it to happen because some of us suffer from self-esteem issues. Some of us suffer with abandonment problems. Some of us have childhood traumas. There's a lot of issues that go there. But in actuality, sometimes there are issues that in the beginning wasn't an issue. You just accepted it and was like, I'm going to roll with the flow because at this point, this is what I'm cool with. Mm-hmm. And that line becomes more blurred as time goes on. And then once you immersed in it, you like,
nah, man.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
It's now that accepted
damn, that nigga
so
got
long
me.
Is part
you
of
know
it.
what I'm saying? Like you sit there and you be like, damn, he got me.
He got you.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have that notion to be like, they ain't gonna get me again.
Yeah.
And to see that's compounding the problem right there.
Yeah.
you so busy blocking somebody that you already X'd out. You so busy looking for him in me. Like, oh, well, the last guy I was with, he used to stay out with his friends a lot. So red flag it. So now, I don't need you to have no friends. Why? Well, cause the last guy. Anytime your female or your counterpart start a conversation with, well, you know, the last person or the dude I was with before you, that's a problem.
I'm not him.
Like, baby, I know you probably got a large catalog of men that you dealt with in different, you know, levels in your life, but the problem is I am who I am. Judge me for me. It's hard to do, but that's what you got to do. I'm innocent until proven guilty, even in my relationship.
Well, I know I honestly had to do that because I used to, my wife, before she became my wife, certain things I would look at her because I'm one of those people, when I love hard, I love with everything I got. And I'm like, if it breaks, then I'm like, I'm just cold for a long time. So that's where that whole idea of the whole phase came from for me, was because every time I had a serious relationship and that broke, then after then I'm just cold to people because I'm like, nah, it won't happen again. This won't happen. That won't happen because I'm not going to be played for a fool again. But then when it came to my wife, I started realizing when we started dating that I was putting more pressure on her for not things she did, but things that other women in my past did that I didn't let go. Like, there was a point in time where I was like, oh, you are a big girl? Nah, we don't date. I date one big girl. Nah, I dated one girl that had a little bit of an eating disorder. I was like, nah, never do that crap again. So it would always go down the line. I'm like, nah, I'm going to X that off the plate, X this off the plate.
Start giving her a ticket that she ain't even purchased.
Like,
and at one point in time, she was like, but I ain't even do nothing. And
I
I'm
didn't
like,
do that.
Yeah.
and I had to sit back and realize.
But see, that's the difference. You self-assessed.
Some people won't do that.
You will not. Some people refuse to take the test they given.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm giving you all these barriers that you got to jump over. But when I tell you, all right, now look at what you put down on that paper. Mm-hmm. And you get to reading back some of the crap you put down. Oh, you can't be big. Well, it ain't like I'm the skinniest person in the universe. Mm-hmm. Oh, she can't go. She can't have friends who don't have. Wait, all my friends got that situation. What am I really saying?
Some people
like you have to stop.
Hey,
you have to stop.
I'm gonna say this though. Like, some people have lost out on the person for them because they refuse to look at themselves. There have been people that have been put in people's lives and have actually been there for them just because they won't get out their own way.
Yeah. They
won't move out their own way. And they have that whole mentality, I ain't gonna ain't no woman gonna simp me. Ain't no nigga gonna get me again. They ain't gonna do this. I ain't doing that again. Baby, I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you. We gonna do this together.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't believe that. Okay. Well, guess what? What you ain't gonna do, I'm finna go over here and do this with somebody else. And then you seeing me over here with this person doing this, that, and the third, and we living this life, and this could have been you.
Oh, that's when you get that line. Why always make the guy for the next girl? Why can't I be the first girl? I'd be like, you was.
It was you. You was in first place.
You was in first place.
But you couldn't get out your own way.
Yeah.
Couldn't stop you.
I've heard that many times.
You
couldn't heal properly.
You couldn't.
You couldn't step out of your own way. You couldn't let the process be the process.
No.
And that's the frustrating part about it, is that's when that broken person goes to another person and creates another broken person.
Because now,
and that's when we get this, men ain't this, women ain't this.
Yeah.
That's when that cycle continues to keep going because they jumping and creating more broken people.
Mm-hmm. Vicious cycle.
I 100% agree.
Vicious cycle.
It's a cold world out here.
It really is.
Cold.
Well, not in Texas, but other places I
Hot
hear.
here.
I hear it's cold.
Man,
I hear it.
people vacation from hell to come to Texas.
Yeah.
Man.
How much influence should your parents have on your relationship? Speak on it.
None. I'm gonna speak on this because
You go
I was arguing with somebody online about this the other day. I'm like, because the whole thing came from, if your husband and your father getting into an argument back and forward, and your husband says it's time to go, let's go, and your father says, oh, you ain't going nowhere, go get in the house, and she was like, oh well, I'm gonna I'm gonna just go sit on the hood of the car. And I'm like, I wish you would go sit on the hood of the car. I wish you would. And I had to break it down to her because I was like, one of the things that a lot of people have to understand, when your father gave you to me at our wedding day, he relinquished all rights and responsibilities. He put that to me. He put that in my hands. So that means me. It's me and you. It's not me, you, and your parents. I don't care about what your parents feel about something. I will never intentionally try to disrespect someone's parents. But if it's between me and your parents, it's me. Mm-hmm. And you should pick me over your parents, just like I should pick you over my parents, because we said we are one. We're in this together.
Yeah. So with that particular situation right there, if it's the conversation between me and her father, that's a man-to-man conversation.
Exactly.
And if it's a man-to-man disagreement and we didn't disagree about something, that should be the end of it. Now, if it ain't got heated, we need to bounce. Baby, we got to roll. Because I don't want to disrespect your father in his house. We need to get up out of here. And if my wife know me well enough, if I say, baby, we need to roll because I don't want to disrespect your father in his house, my wife is going to be like, all right, let's roll.
Let's roll.
Yeah.
Daddy, we got to go. We got to roll because I know how respectful my husband is. If he say we got to get up out of here, we need to go because I know his temper. And if he going to go off in here, that means he finna tear it down. And I don't want him to do it.
Respect.
You know? And so, to answer the question, I agree. Parents, no say.
Mm-hmm.
What happens in your relationship should stay out of your parents' knowledge. They should have no say on what's going on because let's just say you do go tell if a woman go tells her mama what happens, you do something, whatever. When you go over to parents' house, her mama looking you all upside your head.
No.
Looking at you crazy. You know, some parents don't know how to separate issues from being, because and then, you know, depending on the type of parent that they got, she might come address you.
Mm-hmm.
What you done did to my baby. And now you looking like, so now you going to tell your mama we didn't have an argument. That creates problems. That creates tension.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And so some people don't know how to not overstep boundaries.
All right. Well, take into account a parent, bro.
Mm-hmm.
For 18 plus years of their person's life, before they met you, there were no real boundaries. Like Paige, you got as much boundaries as I allot, and it's not a lot.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, okay, now you got into this marriage. It's year one, and I gotta respect the fact that you made a decision as a person. Like you made a decision to go be with that man, whoever he is. So I would hope that you made a good decision. Why? Because me as a dude, me as a parent, I understand. Hey, you an adult now. You got to make adult decisions. If you need my help, I'll help you. But at the end of the day, I gotta let you be in that so you can fully invest in that. The worst thing you can have is a parent that anytime you got an issue with your spouse, my door's open. Yeah. Or I'm coming. Yeah. Or, no.
There's only one thing, this is me personally, there's only one thing that if I have a daughter, that if she come to me and she say, he didn't put his hands on me, no question, I'm coming.
Yeah.
Because that's one thing I don't play nothing about.
I 100% agree with you, but I worry about that so much because with my temper, if I'm coming, I'm coming. And it ain't no talk. It's not coming to talk.
I don't think
I don't
be a question about your temper.
I don't care. I don't care about that.
Because some people be like, oh, well, I just called you to talk. No. That's something you talk to your mama about.
No, you talk to me about it.
The thing is that you raise this child, and your child know your temper, and your child know that you don't play about them. So if you call daddy, and daddy is coming, you know that he is coming locked, loaded, and ready to take him out by no questions, no means, nothing. Because that one in there, you can tell me that where we going. I'm pulling up too.
Yeah, it's a problem.
It's gonna be some issues.
Exactly.
It's gonna be some problems. Like, no. Now, y'all having an argument with them, baby. Y'all gotta talk that out.
Yeah.
Now, if it's continuously some issues going on that y'all just can't work past or whatever, maybe y'all need to seek some. Maybe y'all need to seek some counseling, or maybe y'all need to go y'all own way. Maybe this just ain't the relationship for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I can't be the one to rescue you from this.
Right. I'm not gonna push that viewpoint on you.
Right. I'm
you in that.
Yeah.
When you decide that you done with that,
I'm gonna support you.
Still open.
I'm gonna support you.
Come on back home. Get yourself situated.
I'm gonna support you. I'm not gonna tell you to sit there and suffer in it.
No.
Yeah.
And see, that's the one thing that I don't agree with in our community. We'll tell somebody to sit there and tough that shit out, especially if we done seen the blueprint on how to get out of it. We'll sit there and won't offer our advice on how to get out of it.
Just watch.
We'll sit there and watch it. It's kind of like we'll sit there and watch somebody suffer in silence and won't get them the blueprint to get out.
But I mean, I guess because that's like me, how I look at a lot of things is if I know how to do it, if I have a way of doing something and I could find it, bruh, I'm not going to be I found my way out, you find your own. I'm like, bruh, if I get you, give me your hand. Come on, let's go.
Exactly.
Right? Give me your hand. Let's go.
How many people in our community, how many times in our community do people actually offer ways to get out of things?
It's very true.
It's very few people that'll say, let me show you. Because honestly, how many of us would actually be in debt if we knew the actual way to get out of it? How many of us would really be in debt if we knew the real way to get to some of the ways to get to the points that we wanted to get to? Because other people knew the blueprint to get there, they just didn't want to share it.
Yeah.
You got to get yours the same way I got mine. That's the mentality.
Right.
But the whole idea with that, I would think, would be, bro, how can we help each other? Just like before we were talking about the podcast, like so many groups could make way more money together than breaking up, but they were like, oh, well, I won't be the lead singer. If I can't be number one, then I don't want to be in this no more.
A lot of the times, it's competition, it's fear, it's this, it's so many different factors. But people don't look at the whole the collective over the self.
Right.
They want to be at the top of the game instead of being like, okay, you number one at this, you number one at this. We were always taught that you either number one or you nothing.
Right.
We were taught that. Either you gonna be the best or you don't matter. What is it? What does it take to be number one?
Yeah.
Two is no winner,
and three nobody remembers.
Yeah.
Like think about all the songs that we listened to coming up. Like we were taught to compete consistently, and competition has always been our thing.
Right.
Always. And it ain't no.
But even being a competitor, I love to compete, but I want my people to be better because, okay, for example, if, like, I'm just now getting back into it because I stopped doing it for a while, but I was doing martial arts for years, and I'm like, I didn't never fight nobody the same rank as me. I want to fight people better than me because I'm trying to be better. Like, I don't mind helping out people that are lower than me, but I want to figure out. So if I get you better, you get me better, we get each other better. So we're all growing together.
Yeah, but you got some people that want to be better, but don't want to teach nobody else how to get for the game to be better.
A great example of this whole story that played out. You know how T-Pain came to power, bro? Like, he was in a group. Everybody wanted to go solo. T-Pain wasn't really thinking about it. But, of course, T-Pain is the beat maker and the producer, right? So, everybody who want to go solo in the group coming to him to get the beats to do their own thing. And he's sitting there working with him, and he like, well, if everybody is just going to dip, I might as well do something for myself.
Yeah, might as well, you know.
And then, voila.
Here I go.
I'm T-Pain, and y'all, not saying that I don't know what they're doing, like, where's this rapper now? I don't know. I don't have the backstory. But what
I became
but
this
they
guy.
ain't T-Pain.
But I'm saying, the one guy who stayed like, nah, we can do this together.
I mean, prime example, like another example of that is everybody always blames Cisco for breaking up Drew Hill. It wasn't his fault. Everybody blames him. It wasn't him. It was Woody.
Yeah. But they were mad. They were mad. Woody was mad, but Cisco, he had, Cisco was more of the lead singer, but Jazz sung a lot of stuff too. Yeah. It was a lot of people who were singing in the group, but his voice got him the part on Wild Wild West, on the song Wild Wild West. And after that point, Woody was just like, I'm done.
Yeah, but that goes to show you, like, we all eating out here.
We eating.
We
good.
all. This is a group effort, and we all at the table. But since my plate is just a little bit bigger than yours, I'm finna blow this. I'm finna tear this motherfucker to the ground because mine is just a little bit bigger than yours.
Just somebody gave you an extra side.
Just a little bit. Just cause I got a little bit. You got the green beans and I got the broccoli. I'm finna blow it up.
No,
I'm gonna blow it
went hard.
They did.
Yeah.
They
I mean,
did.
don't get me wrong. Cisco went hard too.
You know.
Cisco, he had them two good albums. Well, actually, if you get technical, that one real good album.
He had two good albums.
Man, that both. I was listening to that thing the other day. That must still fly.
That don't thing.
Man.
It was fine.
Hey.
What you gonna do?
But back to on what we were talking about. The fact is, no one, parents, yes, your parents gave you life, brought you into this world. But when they gave you up, when it came to the altar and stuff, now before the altar, depending on your relationship, because some people have them long, like 10, they've been in a relationship 10, 15 years kind of stuff. I'm like, even then, I don't believe your parents should play that much of a hand in your stuff.
I don't care if you on a long-term relationship. Keep your parents out your business.
Like,
advice is one thing.
That's where it is, right there.
Advice is one thing, but putting them in your relationship is different from getting advice from them.
Yes.
Like, you know what I'm saying? If a situation going on and you give them a scenario and be like, hey, was I tripping in this? Yeah. You know, so say for instance, you sit down with your pops, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
yes, I do.
you do something and be like, you know, I handled it this way. Man, was I tripping? And then he'll look at you and be like, yeah, son, you tripping in that moment. That's totally different from being like, man, you know, and she did this, and then you be like, and then his comment is like, yeah, and I would have did such. That's total. Those are two.
I wouldn't put up with those things.
Yeah, that's two totally different aspects.
Yeah,
the place of a parent is, I equip you with the tools and I let you use them.
Yes.
Like I had 18 years to give you the blueprint on this is how you gonna succeed, whether it be finance, relationships, spiritual, whatever it may be. I'm giving you these tools.
Mm-hmm.
These are the same ones I use. They work for me. I'm telling you right now, the knife ain't sharp enough. The knife I had it was blunt, but it worked. Yours gonna have to be sharp.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When it comes to your relationship, hey, you know what I'm saying? Me and your mom, I had a few conversations that might have leaked outside my bedroom. You need to close your door, tighten it up. Nice. But I gotta sit back and let you. I can't. The pride of it is when you do succeed as a child in your relationship, my influence was on the back end. Like I'm not a direct influence no more. The knowledge and the tools I gave you as a kid to put you in this position to where that type of person would even consider you a eligible candidate to be in a relationship, that was my work. I helped you get there. I gave you the mind to where, in Paige's case, I'm not going to sit here and tell you don't need a man, because I don't want to instill no thought process in you to make you feel like, oh, my dad said I don't need a man, and you interpret that as I don't want a man. No. Or
all I need is my daddy, and I'm gonna go run to him every time I need something.
No, don't get me wrong. You can come to me, but the idea behind this, baby, is you go out and you live your life.
Exactly.
Go live it. Yeah. Look, if I see you too far on the deep end of something that, like, if I'm peeping it, like, if you came to my front door and you got knots upside your head, you ain't got to tell me. Hey, whatever that is, it's finna get handled, and you know I'm here now. Because I saw that. I'm observing. But
because I got it on me.
I got it on. You having a little to do with your mate and y'all talking, I'm not finna walk over there and be like, what's going on? No.
They ain't got nothing to do with me.
My jurisdiction is keep your hands in your pocket or to your side, buddy.
Yeah.
That's my jurisdiction.
Because as long as them hands stay to the side, we good.
Don't
but
touch the
moment that they come up, now me and the rest of the family.
It's a problem.
And I was thinking
because it's gonna be a Dave Chappelle moment. Yeah. We're gonna make real orange juice out this nigga. It's gonna be some bloody gloves out our house,
man. No, because I was thinking about it, and I'm like, honestly, because when I first got married, I was like, man, there was some times where I was like, and I had my wife don't even know this, but I had my father-in-law be like, why don't you say nothing to her? And I was like, huh? It was like, man, I'm trying to be respectful. He was like, they ain't got nothing to do with me. Like, you talking to your wife about something has nothing to do with me. But now, if it was physical abuse, that's a completely different story. But you checking, that's you in your house. That's you and your wife.
Some men respect that.
You have to.
Some men will respect that about their daughters because they know who they raised. Mm-hmm. They know their children. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing, like, depending on the person that you're in a relationship with, there's certain things that you can do to them in public and some things you can't do to them in public. Like,
and I was because when me and my wife first got, because my wife is very independent, but she was raised old school for a lot of things, but she wants to do a lot of things herself, and sometimes she'll jump in and say things, and I'm like, I try to. If I don't have to say something, I ain't gonna say something. But then I'm like, sometimes things need to be said. And my father-in-law was like, I'm not worried about y'all. Y'all have a marriage. Y'all in this together. Like, there's gonna be times where it's like, hey, if y'all gotta go, you gotta go.
Mm-hmm.
If she got, just like if you over her house, your parents' house, and she's like, baby, it's time to go. Things like, nigga, you gotta go.
It's time to roll.
Yeah.
Like it is what
Like,
it is.
that's the part where it's like married. Now, if you over here physically abusing someone, that's a
That's
completely
not marriage.
different story.
That's physical violence.
And just like, and I feel like a step further with that, and y'all could correct me if I'm wrong. Even when it comes to marriage with children and with family members, there's a boundary that needs to be set with that as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
My one thing that I do, not one thing, I respect multiple things about my parents, but this one thing in relation to this conversation we having is, I honestly don't remember my parents having a argument. Like, if they did that, they was like, they go to their room.
Yeah.
And like, you own the house. It's your house. You pay the bills. I'm just a person who live here. I'm literally freeloading.
Because if we have an issue going on, I'm not finna discuss this in front of my children. Let's go. We gonna go in this other room. We not finna fight in front of these kids.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But see, that's where a lot of issues coming in, because a lot of people don't care. They're gonna fight right here in front of the kids.
Yeah.
A lot of people gonna use the kids as the weapon.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna take this. No. You know this baby is supposed to be with you. This.
Yeah.
Whoa. Why did you bring the child? Remember the McDonald's man?
Mm-hmm.
You weaponized my kid. Look, I'm just trying to be helpful and feed the child that I had with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now you telling me I'm wrong
It's crazy,
for
man.
helping.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's absurd.
It's crazy.
And you gonna use my kid as a weapon to fight me with you, and you declared your army in the back. The other kids is her army. The reason I'm screwing you over right now in this child is because these other kids matter too. I 100% agree.
I mean, there's a
They
time
just don't matter to me.
and a place to show your kids that life is not perfect.
Correct.
But arguing and berating each other in front of a kid is not the answer.
That's not what you do.
Very true.
In the aftermath of Roe v. Wade, the House has passed legislation that would protect birth control. I didn't know we needed to protect that though, but it's protecting it.
So we
You can
we
still
not
use-
gonna give women their choice for abortion, but we gonna protect. But I'm gonna let y'all handle this one.
Look,
Okay. I'm gonna say it like
Okay,
this.
I'm gonna let
I
y'all-
think part of this, well, not part of this. Most of this is stupid. Like, I'm like, this is about old people that's like, you old. Like, it's not it's not even nobody in their 40s. It's like, man, you grandparents age and about to kill over yourself. Because the only thing I'm saying, you shouldn't even have to protect birth control. If you don't want a kid, you use birth control. Right. So why would you not have birth control for all?
right.
But I got protected because y'all think about getting rid of it?
I can understand they thought process. Like, well, if you went back and took this away, which don't get me wrong, I'm not here nor there on Roe v. Wade. I was gonna live how I was gonna live regardless.
Exactly.
But when it comes to birth control, I know it's a lot of women, because some women say it got health benefits. Some women say that, of course, one of the health benefits is you don't have kids. But it's at least mental health. This whatever. But when it comes to that, like, okay, we need to make sure that they ain't gonna aim for that too, because you can.
But it's bad that you gotta go there. Like, I believe birth control should be for all. If you want birth control, that's your prerogative. Yeah. That is your right. Like, I shouldn't have to protect it.
Right. Preventative measures should not be.
There's a lot of stuff that should be our prerogative to be able to do, but they telling us what to do anyway.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, it's like,
so conditioned.
Like, I can't be pro-choice, I'm like, if you're pro-choice, that's fine. That's cool. That's your prerogative. But I'm just saying, you telling people they can't be pro-choice anymore. Everybody has to be pro-life. But you can't. I got to worry about if I can use this. If I could use this condom, these Plan B pills, these the stents, whatever. I got to worry about if you're going to try to take that away from me too.
It's like they came up with all of this stuff, and somebody got upset and said, no more. No. They was like, you know what? We got my grandfather, great-grandfather, and it's not my great-grandfather, but somebody up here on this hill making these laws said, my great-grandfather made a terrible, terrible mistake, and I need to rewrite and erase what he did.
Make an amendment to that.
I need to fix all this because somebody's not logically thinking here. No. I feel like because it seems like somebody has a point to prove and an agenda. Yeah. I can't quite put my finger on it.
What point do you really have to prove?
I mean, I just said I don't know exactly what point that you have to prove, but somebody got a point to prove because it's like they just.
This makes me go back to the whole idea of Jane Elliott talking about only thing you could give me that could even possibly make sense would be, now a lot of white people are being born, but a lot of white people are dying. So we need more white people. So if we're going to worry about getting rid of your birth control, then you can't have abortions. Then you can't do a lot of other.
But what is that going to do if majority of the population is interracial anyway?
That's what I'm.
What?
It's a good question.
What good is that going to do?
Because they do say that by far each race still sticks with their own race for the most part.
Buddy, I am telling you.
No, I know there's a lot of people.
I'm not going against statistics. The statistics show what you say, but I do know.
Yeah, there's a lot of people.
Look, if every race is a pond, it's a lot of people in fishing boats throwing their line over into these other lakes. That's all I'm saying.
If you look, those same statistics that y'all speak of are showing that by a certain point in time, those numbers are going to cross over, and those specific number of people that you're speaking of are going to dwindle down, and that mixed race of people are going to grow into a number that can't be eradicated at all.
Oh no!
So that's why. So that's why I'm trying to figure out if that's the point that they're trying to prove and trying to make. I don't understand it.
Think about this. Look now.
I don't get it. Like, how are you gonna fix it?
Trying to keep him alive as much as possible.
Drake's still Drake, bro. Like
he gonna be Drake.
He gonna be Drake, and the world has shown you we like him. Universal, we like him.
Mm-hmm. Didn't he get like a $200 million contract?
Buddy, Drake done got the numbers behind Drake on a lot of things are so outlandish. Ridiculous. To the point that I don't even understand. I used to give numbers when it came to Drake.
Because I was like, because they were talking about who was it? It was the top 4 people were Mariah Carey, what's his name, Michael Jackson, that got like $200 million just for the contract alone. Right. Nothing else, but just contract.
400.
God.
400 million.
Drake.
Universal deal.
And then when you start thinking about it, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Yeah.
The people.
We love The Rock.
We love The Rock. He crosses
all barriers.
I can go in. It don't matter. You gon' view me as you. Because I could be anybody.
Yeah.
We love The Rock.
Samoan, black.
Samoan, black. Whatever.
You mixed with a couple of them.
And that's all I'm saying.
Because when we think about it, your daddy's Soul Man Rocket Johnson.
Sweet. Your daddy's Soul Man. You The Rock because he was Rocky. So that's when you start peeling back the layers, bro, we starting to see, like, over time we are starting to see that having a mixed family dynamic is not world crushing or world ending. We trying to get back to what they used to have before they had the whole, we got to declare this white, this black, and make these separations. We getting back to, no. We Chinese. I know you black, but since you was born in China, you Chinese. You from China. You China. You're Chinaman. Period. I don't care what you look like. You African. You South African. Okay, you look white, but that's all right. You African. Period. That's the rest of the world. This is a small. Well, I don't want to say small, but it's not as large as the other places. But it's a small social experiment gone awry. And it's finding its way back to the.
And they trying their best
to maintain,
trying to put it back to where it was, and it's just not going very well. It's not going very well at all because they got a lot of. I mean, there's a lot of people that are thriving in their mixed race family dynamics.
Yeah.
I just never understand why do we really care? I'm like, what? Why do people care so much about certain race?
I'm gonna correct you right there. We don't care. We don't care at all. It's it's the other people that care. We don't care. We don't care at all. It's the other people that care. Because I got family members that look like Drake. All across the board.
Too.
You know what I'm saying? So, it don't make me no difference. It don't matter to me.
Somebody pissed me off a couple of months back because they said, "Oh, you're like a little shade darker than Drake." I'm like, I'm not that light, but I'm like, I guess so.
Being light though, I don't. Like I said,
I don't have an issue with my.
I see it different.
I don't have an issue at all, but I was like,
I live in a Crayola box world, bro.
I
live in a Crayola box world. There's a lot of colors out there, though.
And we I think it doesn't bother us as much as because we've been these people our whole life, so it it doesn't bother us.
Desensitized.
We just like y'all don't y'all
like that.
Y'all cool, you know what I'm saying? You not like very much. Well, come sit over here with us. They don't like us either.
You'll be fine.
So you good.
Don't really care, bro. Have a good time.
It's fine. We'll rock with you. You good people. You dropped a few albums. They dope. You made some good movies. You wrestle good. You come rock with us. I mean, I know I'm being funny, but like we understand. You know what I'm saying? Like we get it.
Yeah. Let's think about it. Second place don't necessarily have an issue. You know what I'm saying? With everybody behind them.
Yeah.
Like we all lost. Not saying that we as race lost. I'm just giving an example. Like it don't matter who all came behind first place. The person in first place always looking back like, ha ha, you lost.
Mm-hmm.
I got to make a distinction. I did this first. But everybody else is like, we just in this. I'm just happy to be in the race, my G.
Yeah. We always try to get that seat at that table, but they just don't want to let us sit there.
Like, if you start to realize that there's more people if you just built the table, there's more people that can sit at your table because more people identify how you identify.
Yeah.
Everybody ain't out here on top of the world. What, 8 people own 50% of the world as well? You saw that statistic just like I did.
Only 8 people. Only 8%.
8 people.
Only 8%.
Not 8, no.
8 people. 8 people. I'm sorry. Not 8. Yeah.
8
I thought it was 8%. I'm sorry. 8 people.
I wanted it to be 8%. I would feel better.
Yeah. Only 8 people. 8 people. I'm sorry. And I bet one of them 8 people is Bill Gates.
Guaranteed.
I guarantee it.
I mean, I could name 3 of them right now. Elon Musk, Bill Gates. What's his name?
Is Bezos one of them people?
Yeah, Jeff Bezos.
Yeah. And it all started with books.
But that's what I'm saying.
Let's not start this.
Follow your passions, bro. Keep pushing.
Let's not start.
It might be small today.
This will be a 2-hour episode if we start this.
All right. We're going into the segment You Won't Believe This.
Oh, yeah. So, As always, love to shout out my beautiful wife. Love you, baby. Check out her different pages, different product lines. There is Wasted Desires. They have waist beads. These are made by my wife and her sister. They actually thread most of them, take care of everything. They are very detail oriented when it comes to their products. Then you have Traces Like Mine. That is hair care products for black women, by black women. My wife also does that one too, which I'm very proud of her doing her entrepreneur thing. This is actually made for black women's hair. There's a lot of things out here that do not, yeah. There's a lot of things out here that are not meant for our hair, but we'll still try to use them. But this is something actually geared toward black women, black men's hair. Then also the last one, Yanni Like Mine. Ladies, please take care of yourself. I hope all of you do know what Yanni is. If you do not know, these are more feminine products to help pH balances, help your hygiene, help your moisture levels, all those kind of things. I'm trying to be more podcast friendly. Trying. Yeah.
All right. Shout out Mike. He do State of Being.
Okay.
A man is arrested for selling 1 million in Chuck E. Cheese tokens as bitcoins. I don't know why.
I just want to know who.
Hey.
Bro,
Go ahead, bro.
respect
Go
that
and
us.
speak your mind. Speak your mind. I know you want to say something.
That right there is the biggest hustle ever. And I'm going to tell you why. What who has ever seen a physical Bitcoin?
Good question.
There is not. So I don't know if y'all watching it, if y'all know anything about cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is not a physical token. Everything is digital. There's nothing is physical about it. There's no physical currency. It's not like a dollar. It's not like a coin.
Right.
No, it's not like a quarter or a penny or anything. You cannot physically touch it.
Yes.
Who bought this? And why did they think that this was actually a Bitcoin?
Tell me why that was my same question. For you to sell $1 million worth of Chuck E. Cheese tokens?
It was it to one person? Was it to multiple people? And so this is why people are getting got right here. This is why people are getting got. And this is why you should do your own research before you buy stuff.
Yes.
This is why you should always consult people before you do anything, because don't just go out here buying physical cryptocurrency. There's no such thing. There's no
you know how it go.
There's no such thing as a physical cryptocurrency. There's no such thing as a physical Bitcoin.
Bro, I'm just saying, if I was the police officer, I'd just be like, bro, you just got. I ain't even going to take him to jail for that.
It's not a...
Like, okay, look. The problem with it is...
Before you keep going. There's no such thing as a physical Bitcoin.
He's helping you.
Go ahead.
You already know. I don't know the particulars of this case here or this instance here. I don't know the particulars, but just listening to it. Who was it? I'm certain it's somebody who's up in age. Because
$1 million though?
No. I'm sure he sold to multiple people over time. I would hope it's not a one. Because if you had the intelligence to amass $1 million, I just don't feel like you would just give it all away on a whim to get a Chuck E. Cheese token.
So how much were the Chuck E. Cheese tokens worth a piece?
I don't know what the Chuck E. Cheese tokens were worth a piece, What I do know is this, though. The cop or a society at large has to care because we know that the person that they're dealing with is become outdated. They're being abused because you're not in the know. Because one, they had to be of a substantial age and possibly didn't have a lot of children because I ain't been to Chuck E. Cheese in a long time, but I know when I see a rat on a token. You know what I'm saying? I know. I went there as a kid, so you know he or she is preying on elderly people. People who, hey, Chuck E. Cheese, I don't know. I ain't never been there. Oh, this
You
is
looking
Bitcoin?
up?
You know I am.
Okay, I want to see
So-
what age these people were.
You have, because it's not going to be anybody under 20.
So,
Not
what
going to
if
be anybody
nah,
under 30, 40,
okay.
50.
What if it's somebody under 50? Would you admit you just got?
That person, okay, you just got. Because at a certain age, buddy, I know you can tell the difference between a token and a
Like a
digital form
Chuck
of
E.
currency.
Cheese token, though. It's
Bro.
a rat.
Look, if I got that opportunity to come up on $1 million for taking my daughter to Chuck E. Cheese and come back with a good couple tokens, who's say that I'm wrong? You know what I'm saying? You don't know what it is. I don't know what it is.
I was just so when I first read it and looked at it, I was like, man goes to jail for $1 million in Chuck E. Cheese tokens
As Bitcoins, though.
for selling them as Bitcoin.
But see,
But for you not to even know it was a Bitcoin, like there's no such thing as an actual physical Bitcoin.
yeah.
And that's why I was like, if it's no such physical thing as a Bitcoin, how you get $1 million
That's what.
out of somebody?
That's why I tell people all the time.
You know how many tokens you had to collect? It was like, hey, bro, how much for them Chuck E. Cheese tokens? How many you need? All of them. Sir.
This is what I'm gonna tell you is this. That's why it's so important to buy your parents phones that are not just flip phone. It's so important to buy your parents iPads and TV. You have to keep them in the technological know, because the further you take yourself back and move back from your parents and think, oh, you know, that's just how they is. If your mama still got a floor model TV that she actually uses, you wrong. Stop that. Go get your mama a TV and put a Fire Stick on it, hand her the remote, and force her. Force your dad. Force them to use these things and get in the know. Because it's not about age. Bill Gates is old.
Yeah. What is he in his 60s? He's in his
But
60s.
if you talk to that man, he's sharp as a whip and he's in
Yeah.
the know. He understands what's going on. So it is as children of these people, and that's why I be like, don't let these people grow old and die alone. Like, nah, go find you somebody. Y'all need to traverse this terrain together.
So it does not give the age of the people that he's.
We know.
So what he did was the guy was a 36-year-old male. What he did was that he took the Chuck E. Cheese coins and used a permanent marker and defaced them by writing B's on the Chuck E. Cheese tokens.
I could have did a better job than that, by the way.
I'm pretty sure you could, because all he did was take a black permanent marker and wrote B's on them.
Oh, with the bees that look like the money something.
Yeah,
I know what the Bitcoin.
That's all he did.
He could have bought a Dremel. $1
Um,
million. Buy your
Also, there are Bitcoin ATMs, but there are no physical Bitcoins in the world. So again, there are Bitcoin ATMs, but there are no physical coins. Again, people. So yeah, he promised people that they would get physical Bitcoins in a hustler scam. So, you know,
Yeah.
and he made $1 million.
First of all, technically, he did give them his rendition of a Bitcoin. So you did get Bitcoins.
So he came up with his own cryptocurrency. All right, bro.
I'm just.
All right.
If
I mean,
okay.
you did. I mean,
he
hey,
drew. He took
came,
it.
He came
put
up
a
with his
B
own
on it.
coin.
If these people, I will say if these people smart, but I mean technically about Chuck E. Cheese tokens. So I'm gonna dial it back. If these
First
people,
of all, no, they bought Chuck E. Cheese tokens that had a B and permanent marker put on them.
if these people are thinking, just like when Ursha team went in there and started throwing the fake money in the strip club, the Ursha dollars. If you go and you take that B and you gotta publicize this instance and tell them this is what they sold me as Bitcoins. This is a moment in time to where you could possibly turn that and make a profit off that token because I'm certain at this point that's going to be part of a landmark case. Because
I wouldn't be surprised if this dude don't get his own NFT.
oh, he will. First of all, I'll go in the back. I'm gonna pull out the iPad. I'm gonna draw Chuck E. Cheese tokens and just put a B, B on it and be like
NFT. Got
NFT,
it.
Wow.
done.
Got it.
Wow.
Man, come on.
Hey,
No physical Bitcoins.
no physical Bitcoin. But you teach. You gotta teach. But that's what I said. Like, don't do your parents like that. Don't do these elderly people like that. Don't. If they gonna have to live in the world that we ultimately build, because we get living in the world that they built, and we trying to make it better.
Yeah.
Banking systems, they was doing their thing. The wrong people with the predatory loans and all that. Bitcoin came in with the blockchain, and now it's
finna get crazy because Web 3.0 is coming and it's finna get real.
real crazy.
So if you don't, if you gonna get behind the 8 ball, like physical banks are about to die.
They could.
So it's finna get even more scary. So if you got an older person that don't understand technology, I agree with you. Give them something that they can do. Because I'm gonna be honest, I handle a lot of my mama's digital everything.
Me too.
She or anything that, baby, can you order this with me? I sure will.
Yeah.
I
I'ma go get it.
I definitely will. I will order it and it's gonna be at your front door on Friday.
Yeah.
I don't let my mama order nothing. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cause she'll fool around and hit the wrong button and somebody have $500.
$500, and they send you a card saying thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, because this, like he said, this is a world that we grew up in, and they ain't technology ain't they friend.
Yeah.
They version of technology was a typewriter.
Typewriter. When that calculator came out that had snake on it, highlighted their life. What?
Man,
what?
man,
I'm
what?
talking about when
Nokia.
when people get talking about cameras on phones and they be like, 3 megapixels, I instantly be like, stop. I don't want to hear nothing else you got to say.
Nothing.
Go to the store.
Man.
Go to the store.
My mama's first portable phone was the phone with your bag. You know, you put over your
in the
shoulder.
80s,
Yeah,
the big
you know
one.
what I'm saying?
Big
The
boy.
that's the first. That go to show you how far back that go. You know what I'm saying? So that's how much the separation is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
You have to
saying?
keep
Like you gotta keep them going. Like, so I agree with him. Like you got to show them the technology.
Keep it in their face. When they don't want to do it, force them to do it.
Now, my question is, because with both of y'all real quick, okay, because we talked about Bill Gates. Bill Gates is very intelligent, and he at least in his 60s. That man in his 60s. So wouldn't you say that shouldn't be an excuse for people now in their 60s then, because of the fact of the matter, if this man in his 60s got more than the state of Texas.
But Bill Gates is the one that built the beast.
See, right now,
That's the difference.
we drive the cars with the screens and all that, right?
Okay.
But if you go talk to my dad about how that car runs, why that screen does that, he'll inform you because he's in the know. I understand how all that works. I don't need you to. They didn't rewrite no wheel. They just put a couple more bells and whistles on it. But see, them same bells and whistles are the same bells and whistles they had. They just put an interface on it now.
Yeah.
So cryptocurrency and blockchain, it's been around. It's just now it's up front and everybody can use it now.
It's just a different. It's a different beat. So like the people like, I forget the other guy that kind of built the thing with Bill Gates. Allen was his first. can't think of his name, but he's older too, but he's still in the know.
Yeah.
You know, as old as Warren Buffett is,
Still in the know.
still sharp as, still making money.
Yeah.
Cause
You know what I'm saying? Like,
the world ain't get to
it
the point
ain't
where
nothing changed.
Ain't nothing changed.
Warren Buffett
Oh, you good?
still sharp, still at the top of his game, still pulling in dollars. You know what I'm saying? The stock game, the real estate game ain't changed. It's still the same notion. It's just that the technology is different.
Right.
You know? So it's different. It's just like the technology is just different.
Right.
That's
You
all
just-
it is.
You will know what you do if you talk to somebody. Like right now, my whole mindset is on how to keep buildings running. So you ask me stuff about it, I deal with it every day. I know stuff about that, right? You ask me about blockchain and all that, I know enough, but I ain't gonna say I'm a
Expert.
expert. I'm no guru.
Yeah.
I just know that if I see a Chuck E. Cheese token in that, I know that's bull. I
Right.
got enough knowledge to be. Hey, nah, don't come to me with that foolishness, bro.
Yeah.
Don't do me like that.
Just like me, like I'm no stock expert, but I know enough to where I know that I'm not gonna do this, and I'm not no cryptocurrency expert, but I know there's no physical
Right.
Bitcoin. You know
We
what I'm
know
saying?
there's a game being played.
Yeah.
We know there's people who play it on a hard setting. I play it on easy, but I know it's a game.
Yeah, you know how they used to play Madden on all Madden. I might be on the pro setting right now.
No, bro.
You know what I'm
playing.
saying? But I can play.
I
but
can
I
play.
ain't on the all
Yeah, I
Madden.
ain't
If
on
I
Yeah.
need to jump into
Yeah.
all Madden, I can't. I'm not
Yeah.
going. I can't say I'm gonna be great, but
Yeah.
I can get through a game.
Yeah, I can get.
have to
I might kick a few field goals to get you stay in the game, but
I'm
I
gonna
ain't.
stay in there.
I ain't running no play on fourth down every. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but that's how you have to keep. It's up to you to keep your parents and your family in a position to where, hey,
Cause if you don't,
is if you don't,
they gonna get you.
they gonna get your parents, and it's also keep yourself knowledgeable.
Yeah. Cause they gonna get you.
Because they
Yeah.
can get you. Chief Sam Dobbins was fired for bragging he shot 13 people in the line of duty. Let's keep in mind that cops go their entire career, majority
Yeah.
go their entire career and never shoot a person, never shoot a shot outside of the shooting range. This gentleman shot 13 people
And bragged about
and bragged about it.
Mm.
In the little because it's a audio recording, and the guy that put it out, he ended up getting fired. They was attacking him. I don't know if he got fired, but he did come under pressure from his department, which also I'm gonna stick to the story because I'm gonna go left and I'll be there.
Yeah.
One gentleman, the one that he was talking about, he shot 119 times. It was a black guy. He said, I shot him over 119 times. Basically, in the recording, he's stating that if you go down for shooting, I don't care if you shoot somebody, I can get you off. I know how to get people off. And if you able to shoot somebody 119 times, and I'm certain he didn't actually shoot a person 119 times. That's absolutely absurd. I would hope not. But nonetheless, he's on the force. I'm certain at one point he was up for a promotion. I don't think they went through with it, but he was. That's the
So did he get fired or he didn't get fired?
I'll have to get an update on it. Because this story was from back.
Because the only reason I say is
So it says that he was fired. In the Mississippi, he's the Mississippi.
Mississippi.
Yeah, it said he was fired.
okay, cool. Because my thing is, I'm just saying as an officer, like you're held to a certain standard. That's your job as an officer. In the line of duty, I understand you have to take split second, and you have to make split second decisions. But those should never be something that you brag about or bring up. Like, it shouldn't be one of those, oh, well, man, I did this, I had to do this. No. No, bro. You in that position of power. That's like, if you a parent, you're in a position of power with your children.
Right.
You're telling, your children's lives are in your hand. Now, if I'm protecting my children and things like that, but that's like when your parent did that real shicey stuff, was telling other people like personal things about you that like nobody else is supposed to know. It's supposed to have been in the family thing. It's like certain things happen.
Right.
But for you to go out and just brag about those things, tell those things, like, you didn't give two craps about the people you shot.
Right. And that's it. Those are the people that you put. The thing about it is, you're putting these people in power. You're giving these people the opportunity to be the ones who, okay, if we are gonna let somebody off for shooting somebody, that's the guy. And we did it so many times that he can brag about shooting 13 people. We let him off 13 times with this, and I can look right next to him. The cop standing right next to him hasn't had the need to pull his gun once, and went and had a successful cop career. It just poses a question. That's all I'm saying. It just makes me question. Okay, they say a blue wall of silence. Okay, at a certain point, like, and then when the guy who actually brought this to the light, when he did that, he was the person in the precinct that was getting, harassed by the cops.
Yeah, the person that normally blows the whistle is the one that gets the.
Yeah, you get the backlash.
Yeah, you get the backlash because you're seen as the traitor.
Right.
But see, I just never understood, as a police officer, your job is the people, not, it's me, my partners, and my partners' because we on the force together.
They're supposed to be a band of brothers. I mean,
yeah.
and not all police officers are bad, and I'm not trying to demonize all of them, but some of them they basically a band of gangs.
Yeah, it's a gang.
You know what I'm saying? Like they not all of them are out here to protect and serve. Like we've seen countless movies, stories on how a lot of these people have turned into gangs. Like it, and these are true stories.
Yeah. True
accounts.
Yeah.
Like all of these officers are not here to protect and serve us. Like that, they start off as wanting to come in and make changes and all this, but over time they turn into some worse than the people that they locking up.
No, but is that a reflection of the environment they're in, or the people they're around? Like, what causes a person to go from because some of them might really just be a check for you, and your mission is, like, I understand the cop's telling me, man, my mission is to go home every night.
Yeah.
Well, then I get it. Your job, you should want to go home, but at the same time, the job you signed up for, I'm sure it's a lot of soldiers in the army that want to go home that didn't.
Yeah.
And then some of them, man, I feel like some of them cats, bro, like they came in with that mentality.
You had your own personal bias, and then the badge, it's just like having wealth.
They came in with it. They came in. It gave them. So my grandma used to always say, a fool was a fool before they had money.
Yeah.
The fool the money just accelerated the foolishness.
Yeah.
True.
It just exaggerated.
Yeah.
It gave
permission. They gave them the means to accelerate their foolishness.
Yeah, do more.
So if you are this person without a badge, that badge just gave you the fuel to be able to accelerate what you were without the badge.
Exactly. It don't change nothing.
Ain't change. It just gave you a means to be able to stand behind it and be like, all right, now what you gonna do?
But see, even with that, I'm like, I don't believe that you should be above it. Like, you make sure you enforce the law, you do the thing, but you're not above it. Like, everybody should be.
We have to the same standard.
Yeah,
some people hide behind that badge and be like they above the law.
Right. And some people,
some of them think that they are the law. I am the judge, the jury, and the executioner
on the spot. And I just feel like the crazy thing about it is, I'm certain there are more cops that are good than bad. far, vastly more. Mm-hmm. But it's all it takes is a few.
Yeah.
Just a few.
Just like with us, like there are more of us civilians that are good than are bad, but all they see is the bad.
Mm-hmm.
Very true.
That's what's highlighted. So of course, there are a lot of. I mean, I'm not gonna say all my interactions with police have always been bad. I can't sit here and say that. I can't sit here and say that all my interactions with, especially with me being from LA, I can't say that they all have been bad. But I will say that all of the highlights have always been very negative. Yeah. You know, like
when I met that one, I remembered that.
Yeah,
one.
I remember that one. You know, and then me being from LA, LAPD is LAPD.
So yeah.
Enough said.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then living in Louisiana, they are who they are. This police officer being from Mississippi, you know who he is. You already know what type of. I mean, if you've been in Mississippi, if you ever been in Mississippi, you know that the climate of how Mississippi is. Mm-hmm. There's certain things you don't do in Mississippi.
Right.
If you ever been through Louisiana, Mississippi, especially certain parts of Alabama, at nighttime, there's certain parts of Alabama you just do not stop.
It's still sundown town.
Yeah, it's still sundown town.
Don't go
like
that way.
You just don't do it. Like it is 2022. And there's still some parts of the world that we still got to still think like that at this point in time. Even with and we gotta think like that with people that have guns and badges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not and I'm saying this because of the people that have guns and badges. Not us worrying about people on the back of trucks with shotguns. I'm talking about people with guns and badges.
The people you pay your tax dollars to.
That's
what
I'm talking about in this day and time.
I'm worried about you.
That's what we got to worry about. And I'm not just talking about black people. I'm talking about people in general.
Yeah. Yeah.
We got to worry about that in this day and time.
Pressure. People in Georgia can now claim their unborn child on their taxes for the year.
Georgia is innovating, ain't they?
I respect it.
Ain't they innovating?
But how you going?
How you going? Because you still feeding it.
You still feeding it. Your child's eating off of you.
But your feeding
Paige is still eating off of me.
They feeding
no
it,
unborn.
But they
unborn.
But they feeding. She's feeding off of the mother.
No, she's eating, and the child is eating what she's eating, the nutrition from her body.
But is she not feeding?
No, Jeremy,
bro.
This is how I want you to explain this to yourself. Listen to what you're saying. Is that child eating?
Is getting the nutrition from your body.
Jeremy.
Is getting the nutrition.
Jeremy.
It's not getting a Big Mac. You ate a Big Mac.
No. If that,
let me get half of that Big Mac.
Is that child eating?
How would you want to say it? Define eating.
Receiving nutritional value and or calories from a food substance. From a substance we would declare as food. Do they do that? Or do you want me to get the Webster definition? That's just off the cuff. Do you want me to get the Webster?
Get the Webster.
Get
the Webster. We gonna.
Hey Siri. Define food. Any nutritious substance that a person or animal eats, drinks, or plants absorb in order to maintain life and growth. That is what food does. Babies grow in the...
babies absorb.
Oh, plants absorb in order to maintain life.
Yeah, and now the baby's the plant.
It's growing like a seed. Stop it, bro.
Man, I'm just saying.
Stop it,
Come
bro.
on, bro.
Look. You eating. That baby's eating. It's eating off you. Literally off her.
Yes. So now we're going to start paying taxes for that.
Tax it.
So
I respect it.
Man, you pay taxes for everything now.
Hey,
First of all,
any and everything
it's
you
a
get taxed
taxable offense.
first of all, you already heard what they trying to do. Child support in the womb. At the moment of conception, you owe child support from the time that you.
But then that also brings up that question.
You got to make it holistic. If you're going to make laws that are outlandish, you got to make it holistic. You got to look. You got to serve all parties of that.
But the thing is, what if that's not my child?
Well, after that, of course, you're going to get your paternity test in the end, hopefully.
But, okay, if she find out she's pregnant in month, let's say 2, and...
You know it took 9 months to make it, and or 8 months, depending on how you had it.
Okay.
All right, well, you owe 8 months. After the baby get out here, we find out it's yours. I don't care what took place. 9 months of last year is old. Pay that.
I guess so.
I'm just saying, look.
Man, they already charge too much for child support as it is.
If you're going to do it all the way. That's why I said, if you want change, you want real change, pay attention. These people go up on the docket every year.
So then that's why on their whatchamacallit now, the whole Plan Bs and on birth control and all that. So then might as well just cut it all out.
Because they trying to look, unborn children are getting rights. It's somebody who can't speak, they want to speak for them. Now, the concepts and ideas that I place for it, I'm not gonna say they 100% reflect my own. What I will say is this though: if you gonna do it for one, you gonna do it for them all. Now, if in Texas, this was a lady, and I respect her greatly for this, and it's in our home state. Shout out to, I forgot her name, but she was riding in the HOV lane. The cop pulled her over.
Oh. She said, I have a baby. I'm pregnant, so.
I got a second passenger in my stomach. If you got to pay child support, if you got to pay taxes, that's an extra person in every sense. It makes sense to me.
So then what if the person lies like they do?
I identify as a pregnant woman.
Yeah.
You see how the jar, this is why I can't say it 100% reflect my own thought. Because I'm like, you see how sticky the wick get.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like people keep digging in that bag to find what stick.
Yeah. I'm just going to keep pulling it out until it get at a certain point. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. But like I said, she going to court for it right now. And she trying to figure that out.
Wow.
Yeah, what it is. TD Jakes states that families are lost because we are raising women to be men. What do you think? And then he got a whole sermon out. Don't get it confused. It's taken out of context. Parts.
Yeah, there were a lot of people it was a lot of ladies uprage on TikTok and stuff talking about TD Jakes because he's just preaching toward what men and women are instead of actually preaching the gospel and stuff like that.
I mean, he tied it into he brought you scriptures that explain it to you. Mm-hmm. I don't know exactly how. I mean,
I think that what they're really upset about is that they feel like pastors are now starting to gravitate towards preaching their agendas more than the word. Even though they're tying scriptures into them, they're pushing their own personal agendas more than they're preaching. So I think that's what they're upset about more than what he's actually saying per se. So because that's the reason why I say woo when you brought it up, because I watched a lot of what the ladies was upset about. And what I heard majority of them saying over and over again was that he was just mostly like pushing an agenda or a narrative.
But isn't that what's okay? In most of the points in time, that's mostly when you hear the sermon. That's what it's preaching. The agenda, your agenda, either being a better Christian, being a better person, being like loving your family, providing for your family, taking care of your family.
I'll give you one. Was Martin Luther King wrong for preaching equality? That's his agenda. It's literally his agenda. I want to,
and that's it.
But, well, no, he wasn't wrong for pushing his agenda in that at all. So I will say this. I think it's more so him putting people having that separation of religion and pastory.
right.
You know how we are in our community, our black community, and you know how we view pastors.
Yeah.
You know how our relationship with pastors are, and us being black and Baptists and preaching, and how we look at Baptist churches. You know how it's a sticky situation with that. It's real sticky. You know, some of us don't really rock with the black church like we used to.
Yeah.
If we feel like, you know, especially some of our generation and the generations after us, we didn't shy away from the church.
Yeah.
We don't really rock with it like that because we feel like it's a little too judgmental. We don't fool with it.
It's the grandma getting the Bitcoin Chuck E. Cheese token.
Yeah.
I understand the Bible word is the same today, tomorrow, and everlasting. You know, it's been good. We living it. The circumstances in which we living in, sometimes it just.
I mean, ain't nothing new under the sun, you know. But it's like, I think they don't realize that they was once these people.
Yeah.
They were once us.
Right.
And when when we come in and they get the pointing their nose up and looking all funny at some of the people that come through the doors, that's not real Christian like.
That ain't. My mission ain't to judge you.
You know, we supposed to be loving and open and serving the same God. How you gonna punch your nose up at me when 40 years ago you was popping and, you know, doing the funky Watusi on Saturday night and coming and sitting in the pews on Sunday morning yourself, just because you done got saved and been sitting on the pastor's aid and the usher board for the last 20 years. Now you different, but you want to look at me funny.
Yeah.
People have that holier than thou.
They forget.
Complex.
They forget.
And they forget
you was here.
that you was once this person.
You said
Well,
here.
there's a lot of things, and there's a lot of things you could actually say, even biblically, that talk about be not so heavenly minded that you're no earthly good.
Yeah.
And the thing is, a lot of people don't understand that concept of those people that, oh, you so holier than thou, you can't. You can't understand where people are coming from or where people are going, things like that. It's like, yes, that's against the word too. There's a lot of things that a lot of people don't want to talk about because it's like, oh, I'm a nitpick, or like I remember like growing up, because I grew up in church for about a good 8 years where we go to church all the time. And with always people, they used to be big hoes. Like, and when I mean hoes, I mean they were hoes. I'm sorry.
Not at
if
the
you
church.
ask any of the younger people at the church, we were like, man, when she get up and say her little testimony and stuff, it's gonna be some hoe stuff. And it is.
Not at the church,
I'm sorry. Man,
not at the church.
When people want to give you that, her testimony, how God brought them through, I'm like, okay, you find out some things. I'm like, oh, okay, well, you were out there wilding out. Oh, you in the club back in the day doing your things.
Hey, I'll just say.
I'm just saying, you did all that.
Caveat. Some of these people went to the Freaknik. That's all I mean. Every time I think about it,
some
I
of
be
these
like,
people, I'm gonna take it back further. Some of these people grew up in the era of love. Some of these people was at Woodstock. Some I'm like, so why are y'all so quick to forget that this was y'all's era. Some of y'all was popping Quaaludes. Some of y'all was out here in the
70s was drug era. I'm like,
y'all
70s and 80s.
Y'all literally had the summer of love. Literally. So
Woodstock, everybody was screwing.
Club 54. Like, y'all got it all.
They had free love. It was like, oh.
Free love. What does that sound like? That sounds like a bunch of problems waiting to happen. A bunch of problems.
That was bad because even back then, they didn't have
nearly the technology or the protection that we had.
Like, if we had a summer, it would be very protect. You know what I'm saying?
But it sounds like every generation be over there trying to hit that. Oh, well, back in my day, we didn't used to do these things. Yes, it did.
Yes, y'all did.
Yes, y'all did. Y'all were hoes too.
Y'all, some of the, look here, man. I'm just gonna say
if you want to go even further back, in ancient Rome, people were screwing. Males used to get their first time having sex was with another dude.
Yeah. I mean, they had I'm gonna have to look up the text, but they had an issue with homosexuality in Rome so bad to where they had to make legislation to force men to go and mess with their wives. I'm gonna look it up, and the next time I see, I'm gonna tell you about it. But I remember that I was like, "That's wild.
That's crazy.
That's absurd.
That's crazy, man."
Like throughout history, none in history is we were no. In the Victoria era, they had to put skirts on pianos because dudes are over here getting off on piano legs. Man, you see that leg right there?
Look,
I'm gonna say one thing: chastity belt.
That happened.
They put a lock.
Yeah.
And key. Who can't? So I know we done got way off subject, but I'm just saying, like, bro, people don't like coming to church and being judged.
They don't.
Yeah.
They don't like it. And so they always say, well, these young people don't want to come to church. They don't want to sit there and be judged by the big hat section. Yeah. For one, we can't see over the big hat section, for one. So y'all need to take it down. Take down the big hat section.
Right.
Two, we don't want to be shamed while we're sitting there getting the message. Because sometimes, it's one thing for you to teach at me, but don't preach at me.
Yeah.
No.
Because you know how sometimes you can hear a message and, I feel that message.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes you can hear a message and
like he's shooting a shot at me?
Is you looking right at me and pointing at me? It's different from being convicted by the message and the message seemed like it's specifically pinned
with you.
It's like he posted it on Instagram and tagged you in it while he was writing it.
First of all, he was sitting up there and he was scrolling through your Instagram or your Facebook and was
said,
like,
I'm going to write this about you. It's a difference between being convicted by the message and it's like he's attacking you per se.
Like a pastor, what if a pastor just bust out and was like, if you're under a certain age, you had sex, stand up. Wait. Now you can't. I understand.
Girl, you going back to my thing?
You was the person who told me the story?
Yes, that was me that told you the story. What?
I was like, I remembered. I was like, somebody experienced that before.
Yeah.
It was you. That ain't right. There's no way that's right. You can't do that. You did.
But they do it.
But you should not have done that. Not you.
They do it all the time.
That's wrong. Preach your message. Hey, think before you move. Whatever you got to do. Underage, this, that, and the third ain't good for you. Blah, 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 blah. The person sitting in the seat, I know what I know my skeletons. I know what's in the dark. I know.
Yeah.
It's one person I can't lie to. No matter how hard I try. It's myself. I know the truth. If it's regarding me, I know mine. I know me.
Yeah.
So if you preaching and I look back there and I see a skeleton with that hat on, I'm gonna clean that one out. I'm gonna get that one out.
I'm gonna get that out.
If I felt it, if that skeleton not supposed to be there, you know what? Let me go address that.
Yeah, cause I did it.
But don't you come out at me and be like, it's Halloween, pull your decorations out. No. No. That ain't your place.
Yeah, cause I did it.
I did.
I mean, like most people that are self-aware, they gonna clean out their own skeleton.
Yeah, I'm gonna clean that.
I'm gonna clean it out because if I know I did something, I'm gonna own up to it.
Yeah.
Be who I am.
I'm gonna be me, and I'm gonna be like, yeah, I did that. Let me go and sweep around my own front door and fix that. It be, you know what I'm saying? I don't need you to hit me over the head with it inside of a sermon and single me out in front of a church of people, and then
For me to be judged again.
and then have my mama, my grandma, my auntie, and the rest of the church family talking about me for the rest of the week until we come back to church the next week.
Right. And
Because basically what you done did was embarrass a young person in front of the whole church.
everybody.
Because that's what you did. Because if you were an underage person at that time, and you done said all the people at this age, if you underage and you done had sex, and you say for instance you 15 and all the youngsters stand up, everybody 15, 16, 17 stand up. You know this is a conversation that's gonna happen for the rest of the week, and they finna get on the phone. Girl, you see Bessie Sue grandson done stood up, and it's finna be you can't even get your church slice of cake and your green beans and corn and chicken at the end of the thing because they finna talk about you for the rest of the week.
And then you wonder why
I'm not coming back.
I ain't coming back.
And then you wonder why I don't come back at all after I get a certain age. We ain't got no young people to carry on this church.
Because you pushed
You
them
shamed me out of here.
out. It's like they forgot the purpose of it was to bring me to God. You pushed me out the church. And now I got to go find God on my own. Because going in there, I don't feel like being hung every day or getting chastised or beat every day or told. Most people doing wrong, no, they doing wrong.
Yeah.
There's nothing new. I know, man, I ain't living right.
Yeah.
I mean, in my current state, I feel like I am living kind of right. So I'm going to just pat myself on the back.
And then me personally, man, like I ain't never really just been tied to a physical building because I always felt like the church is the people. I ain't never really been because you read your Bible, you know what I'm saying? On this rock I build my church. He was talking about Peter, the person, not the actual building, because there was no building.
Yeah.
People always want to put the onus on the building, not the body of Christ itself.
Right.
So I've never really just been so physically tied to a building. As long as I have my relationship with God and know what I am in my relationship with him, I'm good. I ain't y'all can say with me being tied to this building. People can say miss me with that. No. As long as I'm good with God and I know how I am with him and I know I'm his child, I'm straight.
I'm straight. We got to come to a close. This is the longest episode. For future reference.
Sir.
No more extra time.
Sir, you have to. You are the timekeeper, sir.
No,
I mean, hey.
I gotta hit. If you coming with, if you're saying something good, I can't, cause it's for the people.
I mean, but at the same time, anytime I'm sitting down here, bro, I'm gonna give it to you.
So,
like I'm just gonna be honest with you. If you gonna let me run, I'm gonna run.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but that's
you
the
gotta
thing
keep
is,
me
you
inside
have
the
to
pocket.
tell him because I'm like, we can keep going with this.
That's what I'm saying. So in my world,
you gotta keep
like
me
it.
in.
You know,
You got
because I want to touch. I promised the people already. This is because it's on there. We gonna touch this. He get to saying something like, nah, they need to hear that.
Yeah,
you get to say something. Nah, he need to hear that.
You got to keep me in the pocket, bro. Because I'm gonna give it to you. You know what I'm saying? This y'all
I
time.
looked at this clock a couple of times. I was like,
I did too.
I don't mind.
I did.
I looked at it a few times too, but I was like, hey,
it was four things in the. You won't believe
I was
it
like,
said.
oh Lord,
Hey.
I didn't know you gonna touch off.
Hey,
You can't put it. Don't put them in there. We ain't gonna put them in there. From now on,
We're gonna work on it. We're gonna work on it, people.
If you like 2-hour episodes, that's on you. I'm not gonna promise those. This concludes. You got anybody else you want to shout out? Aretha, body sculpting.
Yeah, shout out Aretha, body sculpting. Why you say?
I say he shouted out for it.
Oh yeah, body sculpting.
Nate Price,
she's
Grit
in
and Grind.
Northeast Mall, all that kind of stuff. She does men and women. She has a shop out there. She does very well. Nate Price, Grit and Grind. He's a personal trainer. He does very great at what he does. He gets you into shape. He takes personal time to work on you the best way he can.
All right, I already shout out Mike, Tyler Bailey, Luxury Clothes by Luxury Guy, D-Mac. He's a barber. He's in Dallas. You see him, and yeah.
We Talk Mavs, Glow Mavs Production on YouTube. Hit them up. Hit the like, subscribe button on that. They talk Dallas Mavericks basketball real heavy. Hit them up on Instagram. We Talk _Mavs, and then on Twitter, We Talk Mavs, all one word. Hit them up.
All right, and also, if you enjoy what you saw, all 2 hours and 11 minutes of it, or just a portion of it,
Yeah.
like, share, subscribe.
We're on Facebook, YouTube. We're on everything you can name. Likes, share, send it to somebody else. See what they think about it. Tell us what we could do better. Like, help us be better for you people.
And tell us what you like, too. You ain't got to just tell us what we could do better. Tell us what you liked about the program. Tell me that, too. In order to do all that, let me help you out. It is something, the number 4, DA People. And and on YouTube, it's Something for the People podcast. So,
Run them numbers up, man. That's all I'm saying. Run them numbers up.
with that being said, it's been another